Okay, in this part of the lesson, we are going to treat some tasks. So first of all, how do you open an existing web page? Assuming we've written our program before and want to continue where we stop, the first thing is that you locate the file, locate the file. So this is the former file I was using. So what you do, you open your text editor. There are two ways you can do it. You can just simply right click on this, look for open with, you choose any of these application you choose to open it with. Nonetheless, you can as well just minimize this, open up your browser, minimize it, just drag this to an empty space. Let me close this. Just drag your web page to an empty space in your text editor. It will open it up. So you can now continue writing your code. So that's it. So the first thing I want us to treat is we've learned how to open existing web page. So the next one is these headings, 1 to 6 headings. So we use headings. If you want to make heading, so this H1 to H6, it's the sizes decreases with why the numbers increases. For example, now H1 is the biggest, followed by H2, followed by H3, and so on and so forth. So let's try something of this nature. All right, simple code, listing. H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H5, and H6. So now let's check the sizes of each of these. Remember, it starts from immediately after this, right? My hobby are, the first one is programming, web development, game development, music, and reading. So this is it. So let's open it. You see, I guess you still remember how to open your web. Simply go to where you store it and double click on it. Can you see now? This is H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. So the more you increase the number, more you the more you increase the number, the less the size in the web page. So the next thing I want us to quickly treat is superscript and subscript. For example, now you are writing, you are creating a chemistry, for instance, chemistry. You are type want to produce something like H2O. That's H subscript 2, then O. So we want to try it in our web page. So I want to try it down here now. So of course we put it in a paragraph. So now I can simply say H subscript is simply sub from the word subscript. That means down, beneath it, 2. After which, what else do I do? Oh, so if I click on this, let's check what happens. You save it, Control X. You save this now. So let's try what happens. So have you seen that it produced H2O for us? So let's try superscript. For example, I want to type x raised to the power 3. X raised to the power 3. I can put it in a paragraph. So let me make x raised to the power 3. I will not say superscript. Super means the one up. Superscript. Superscript 3. And that's it. Superscript 3. So we have it here already. So do you get it? Superscript and subscript and superscript. So quickly, now let's go to the next thing. Let's go to the next thing, which is the table. The table. Uh, so let's check inserting a table. So when you want to insert a table in your HTML file, first of all, you plan it. I prefer using, I prefer taking students with VS Code on this instead of using Microsoft Expression. It's going to be much easier there, but I think this is the most appropriate way to learn it, to learn the structure. So if you intend creating a web page, intend inserting a table, you must plan it from ab initio. So let's say, for example, we want to create this. For instance, I want to create this, right? So for you to create a table, if you want to create a table, for instance, we all know that normally a table is made up of a row and a column. So let's say we have this first row, right? We have second row, we have the third row. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So each of these now are our row, right? Then we have how many columns do you have? 1, 2, 2 columns. So now that's how we make our row. So for you to open any tab for you to get this thing opening is first of all, you create your first type, which is table. Open your table. Then of course you need to close it now. You close your table. How do I close it? By putting this tag, remember? Now, for you to get this first row, now that we are looking at, this is row now. For you also to get this row, row 1 now, for you to achieve it, to create something of this, let's say we want to create a box like this. What you simply do is you use a tag called TR. Of course, you need to close it as well. T-R. TR. So you have created one row. Do you get it? So for you to take cognizance, for you to implement that in this row now, how many data do we have? We have 2 data, which is data 1 and data 2. So if you want to form this thing now, and you want to write anything in between it, so assuming you want to write 1 here, and you want to write 2 here, right? You cannot just write it empty like this. It will not recognize it. So what you do is, before you write anything inside this TR, that's 0 now. You open your what? You first of all do what we call table data. You now TD, close it, 1, close, TD, close. So instead of us writing only 2 here, what do? Do the same thing. TD, so now write 2. TD. So the computer will now interpret this thing that we have first row, and inside this first row, we have two data, which is what? TD. To TD, you open the first data, and on the second one, open the second one, which is TD. So that is it. Followed by the next one. Followed by the next one. If you want to create another row, we still open our TR. TR. Then we'll create another row again. We close it by TR. So we created another row. So you want to form another data. We start our at what? TD3, for instance. Now we close it TD3. The same thing happens here. TD4, close TD. So this is how we keep on forming our row. No matter the number of rows we have, we keep on forming it like this. So that being said, now let's take this code now. Let's translate this code and form a table. So we want to form a table of this nature now. I want to form a table of this nature, right? So let's go. I will minimize this. The same thing happens here. I will minimize this. Minimize it. So I believe you can see this. So let me create a table now. So the first thing we'll do is when we want to create a table is open what? Our table. We close it. This is our table data now. We close it, right? Now, we want to create the first row, which is now TR. We close it. We have created a row. You get it now? The first row. So in between this row now, what do we have? We have two data. This is for this data. We'll make a TD for this one. Make a TD for this one. Right? So let's go now. We'll make two TDs. CD. Close it. We call it what? Red. Then we'll now make another TD. TD. We call it, we give it a percentage. That's how many percent? 36%. You get it. We go again. The same thing happens. CR. We go again. Go again. So for us to create the next one, we'll now make this second row. We'll open our TR again. We'll close it. Remember, we always close it. Enter. So for us to form this table now, the green table and this will open a what? We'll open a TD for this one. Open a TD for this one. So we'll go. We say TD green, and the next one is TD. We have 23%. 3%. The same thing happens to blue. The same thing happens to blue. So we have it. So we formed our table now. So let's check our result. Remember, we just go to the format table and refresh it. So refreshing it now. This is it. So Don't worry, this thing is not, you are not seeing the borderline, right? So you might feel it's not a table. You might feel that this is not a table, right? Because you're not seeing the borderline. So subsequently, we will now see how do we make this thing look like a table. So I think I don't want the video to be long. So